Mochi Health is here to help you start your weight loss journey with caring, personalized support. Meet one-on-one with board-certified obesity doctors and registered dietitians who truly listen and understand your unique needs. Eligible patients can access affordable GLP-1 medications delivered right to their door each month. No insurance? No problem. Mochi Health accepts FSA and HSA, making care accessible and affordable. And with 24/7 customer service, you'll never feel alone on your path to better health. Get started with Mochi Health today. Take the free quiz at joinmochi.com and use code AUDIO40 at checkout for $40 off your first month of membership. That's joinmochi.com with promo code AUDIO40.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where two reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Pre-Fixe, your weekly pop culture roundup. Dominic.
What else can be said other than
Wah, 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 wah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the White Lotus Suite as sung by Fixing Famous People. You're welcome. Good morning.
Not only were we not even paced at the same time, off key, doing the wrong thing.
That was disgusting.
We wasn't even the right song.
Flat and sharp at the same time. We're going to talk about that song. We actually have a story about the music. But what did you think about the finale?
I'm sorry to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was fine. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was very writer's room for me.
Okay.
It was very like, and then this happens and like this person changes their mind. And I'm like, do they, Okay, first of all, spoilers if you have not watched.
Oh yeah, you should turn off for 5 minutes.
It's on you, but fast forward at least 5 minutes because we're not getting out of this in 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
To have the family, like Parker Posey and Jason Isaacs' whole family's like storyline to be ending with him walking up to them and saying, guys, like it's about to get real rough, but we're gonna get through it together. And them just have blank stares at him. Like for that to be the end of their entire story, where we've watched this man for like 7 episodes have suicide fantasies where he kills his whole family and almost does it, is, in my opinion, a failure.
I think that was my only disappointment with the finale. My only true disappointment is that it felt like a cop-out. Like, we want to see Parker Posey melt down. That was why they built this up. Like, will this woman be able to survive this revelation? And then they leave right as the revelation was about to happen. I thought, ooh, I'm a little unsatisfied. I'm a little hungry. I need another morsel, baby. What did you do? What did you do? White Lotus? No. Like I need act 3 of that fucking story.
Even just like 1 extra minute of it. Like I don't need them like having a mental breakdown in her, but like, I mean, how would we not have all fallen over and died if they all start reading their phones and they see what's happening and Parker Posey tries to jump over the boat and they have to stop her? Like, do you know what I mean? Like that would have been incredible.
Yeah. I did need her meltdown. Yeah. I needed her meltdown.
That's 50 seconds of footage. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't even need to be.
We needed to see it because we needed to know how our stories ended, because our actual real life stories, because we had so much invested in Parker Posey when she said, I can't live an uncomfortable life at my age. We all high-fived the television at that moment. I needed to know how my life story was going to end based on Victoria Ratliff. And now I don't know. Now I have to write it myself.
Mystery, So that part was a toughie for me. I also think that it was never proven to me that Walton Goggins' character likes that girl that he's with. At all. Yeah. Like never one time. In the first like 4 episodes, she'd be like, you're just running away from everything. And he would be like, you're an idiot. And then that would be the end of the scene. Am I wrong? Like they never had one sweet interaction together.
They tried to make up for it in the last episode when he said, yes, that's the plan. Like, we're going to be together forever. I do believe when he saw what happened to her that he was genuinely, what the fuck have I done? But yeah, that was the very definition of a one-sided relationship.
Yeah. And it was like, there's something there that's cool and interesting. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's an interesting story to be had there where like but it just wasn't. Everyone online, please don't even get me started on what the internet's saying about it, but like everyone online is like, oh, and then they were soulmates. And I'm like, no, they weren't. Like, he hated her. Like,
yeah, I don't know about soulmates. I mean, I think maybe they would have had a kid who would have grown up fucked up because their parents were fighting all the time. But sure.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Carrie Coon's monologue is all of us.
That
part, incredible.
That's it. What I need is a spinoff of just Carrie Coon and Sam Rockwell being in some sort of fucked up relationship and living in Thailand together, just the two of them. And occasionally Parker Posey comes in for no reason. But I don't know who's getting that Emmy, but it's between Parker Posey and Carrie Coon based on their
fighting to the tooth and nail and deserve it. With the family, like when the daughter finally realizes, oh no, I'm like a rich bitch. Like that was good. Like I was like, yay, here we go. This pays off. This is story paying off. And then whenever she hugs her daughter and when Parker Posey looks over to her husband and gives him the thumbs up, it was the best shit of my life.
Immaculate. That whole scene, every time they cut to Parker Posey and she's
like, we got her.
Trying to mute her reactions to the daughter's experience. Like it was insane.
And you absolutely hated it. Every moment of it. Like it was so good.
It was
that
really
part was
good.
great. Also, in my opinion, the best part of the whole thing is when Natasha Rothwell walks up to that very hot man that she was banging in front of her son and looked at him and said the exact same words that Jennifer Coolidge said to her in season 1 was great. Like that. I'm like, you do know how to write television. Like
that's a gorgeous fan-served
That was incredible.
For
incredible.
Sure.
And that is the commentary that I want from this show. I'm sorry, but the family storyline, womp womp. And I'm sorry, did I not call that guy was going to be his dad? Said it on this podcast. It's in audio. I said, that's definitely going to be his father. But the delivery of that was so bad.
It was because I don't want to sound any way with this, but because she said it with such a thick accent, inflections different than what dumb Americans would say in the same sentence. Many people passed over it. Like many people did not even hear,
and that's on them.
That part of it. I guess, it's on all of us really, but they should have, there had to be another option there where she screamed that.
But also it's like, that is not the moment I want to find that out. And like, why would he never say that? Like, it just does not make any sense to me. Whereas like, whenever he goes to confront him in that room where he pushes him over in the chair, like that would have been a fun way for him. Like, I would have loved to have him deal with that. I know that like, then we need to have someone die. So it has to be, you know what I mean? Like there's a little bit too much of like, we need this to be this, what it is. And so it must be led by this thing. Whereas like, I would have rather him deal with the fact that he's like, I've hated this man my whole life. And that guy is actually my real father. That's interesting. That's Star Wars, you know?
I mean, I'm not going to you're talking, I'm sure it's a difficult show to write and they're trying to send a message and it's a lot. One thing I would have done though, is have Walton Goggins realize like this family whose home he just infiltrated and who he physically assaulted, he is then the next day going back to a hotel that these two people own. He wouldn't have gone back there. Like, he would have assumed he would die. He would not have gone back to that hotel.
There was a lot of that.
He was very casually eating breakfast with the girlfriend, you know? And it was like, what are you doing there, man? You know that they know where you're staying.
Like they're coming for you. Yeah.
So that was the only thing. So a couple of holes. I generally enjoyed it. You know, it just wasn't the thing with with Piper's family. That was the only morsel that left me unsatisfied was that I wanted to see them melt down. And now I just have to do it myself when I look at my own bank account.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Watch this space because you'll see it happening.
Sure. But just the whole like, oh, they're like soulmates. I was like, no, they're not. You've never shown me that one time that he even remotely cares about her. Even when she's like possibly, and I'm sorry, there's a lot of the like the brother incest part of it. Like, I don't know.
It didn't happen the way they promised that it would resolve itself in some sort of way. I was satisfied with, you can worship me, but you can't worship me like that. Like, I think the kid's just like super duper sensitive and lost in a family of narcissists, which was a great line, but that they like sort of passed over. That was them tying it up.
That's true. I just don't need to. I don't like when I need to have a conversation with another person to like decide if I thought it was okay or not. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that when this is like, did this make sense? And then someone's like, sure. And you're like, okay, like I shouldn't need you to tell me that it made sense. Does that make sense?
My dad was very disappointed that the Jennifer Coolidge character did not come back with a twin. Was rumored online.
We're all on our knees begging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no such luck. The composer of White Lotus announced this week that he is not returning for season 4. And I know that most people are like, who cares? When I tell you that there's this article in Variety about this composer having fights with Mike White, the creator of White Lotus, we all commented 2 months ago about we all talked about that bit not being in the opening theme. And it turns out that was an actual fight behind the scenes because Mike White did not want it in there. And this guy absolutely did. And that started this season-long fight where this guy was just like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And he released a version on YouTube of that fucking song with the at the end of it. And it's like a minute longer.
The Lolos.
Yeah, the Lolos.
I don't know what else to call them.
That's what they're called in the article too. The Lulus is what they call them.
First of all, did you notice that he snuck a few in there in the last couple episodes?
I did not.
During one part, there was like a lo. They snuck in the last couple episodes.
I didn't notice that.
Not in the opening song, but in the the composition of the music in the episode. There was a few, and I was like, But I will say, what's that guy's name? Like Cristobal something, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Can we just call him Cristobal something for the rest of our lives?
Yes. I will say that the score of the episodes, usually there's so much more score.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they didn't, and it's because he's like, fine, you don't want to fucking do the Lulus, I'm fucking out of here. And he probably was like, meh, meh, meh. Like, you know what I mean? He was like on a keyboard, like doing the absolute least. Like
he's blaming Mike White for all of that. He's saying Mike White was the one that wanted out of it and just wanted something a little more Ibiza loungy sounding. But no.
Who cares about this? But here's the one thing I will say is like, they keep trying to tell us that the show was about spirituality, that the entire season was about spirituality. And it kind of isn't at all. It's like, everyone is like, oh, they worship money. They worship this, they worship that. But I'm like, but to me is not spirituality. Like spirituality is like what happens whenever we die. Do you know what I mean? If like there was all these characters that were like wrestling with like, what am I put on this planet to do? That to me is spiritual. Like, right?
Yes and no. I mean, no, you're not wrong. It's an opinion, but I think that they tried to tie all that up with Carrie Coon's monologue in the episode, like about what is religion. Like she was saying her job was her religion and love was her religion and sort of spirituality / meaning of life. And those two things don't necessarily have to be the same thing, but they laid a lot on Carrie Coon in that 90 seconds.
Everything.
To tie the whole show up.
Literally everything on her. Yeah.
Which was the end of their storyline at that table, those 3 brunching ladies, except for when they were running for their lives.
When she was out of there. When the gun started, she was like, I am out of here.
Truly.
Which same, you know?
Here's some interesting tidbits. There was a scene shot where Piper, the daughter, in the last episode, when she was going through her whole spirituality moment, had sex with Belinda's son, lost her virginity to Belinda's son.
God.
They cut that scene. No explanation why. Well, Mike White said he overwrote the last episode, and that's why they deleted that scene.
Yeah, I would have hated that. It made no sense. That would make no sense to me.
I was trying to figure out how they would weave that in, but it would have been a lot. And also, this Sam Rockwell role was originally offered to Woody Harrelson, who had to bow out because of scheduling conflicts. Wouldn't have hated it. But
again,
Sam Rockwell's a legend now for that one scene.
Sure. But even like when there's that scene where he's like off the wagon and all those, he's with all those sex workers and the thing and they're drinking again. I was like, I don't need to see this. I don't know. When I tell you my opinion is I could have watched 8 solid episodes of Sam Rockwell in his underwear with those hookers. Absolutely. Sure. But like, that's not what the show, I don't know. I just like, it's hard to say, oh, you didn't like tie up all the loose ends when we watched like 9 episodes of like barely anything happening. Do you know what I mean? It's like you had so much real estate on this show to use to like tell the stories and you didn't do that. And so that to me is a failure.
I think just a web series with Sam Rockwell's character unraveling in Thailand would be fine with me.
Not a web
Why
series.
not? Yeah, I mean, no one's going to tune in to watch that on Max, but let's just leave it. Let's just do that. Even if it's just 5 minutes of him losing the underwear, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, we know.
They were having a great time at that party. Sam Rockwell didn't even seem too fucked up to me at the end. No. I was screaming at Walton Goggins, don't go back to the resort. The lady who you lied to is there. Why would you go there?
True. I don't know.
Well,
we've talked about it for 15 minutes. So I think
we've talked about it for 15 minutes, and we'll see you again. Season 4, not officially announced, but rumored that it's going to be in Europe and not in a beach community because Mike White, as he said in the after show, has had enough of crashing waves as segues. So rumored to be Europe somewhere, maybe a little more inland, and we'll see how it goes. But they wouldn't start shooting it until next year. So you're probably not going to see White Lotus season 4 until 2027.
They need it. He needs to go speaking of crashing waves, he needs to go take a long walk on a beach and be like, what do I want this to be about? And like actually think about it. I won't lie.
Okay, now let's say a sentence that will make us forget that White Lotus ever existed as we move on to our next story. Diddy tried to fuck Terrence Howard. Good morning, everyone. We're back. Terrence Howard gives an interview and basically says Diddy tried to fuck every male celebrity that ever went to one of his parties. To which normally Dominick Pupa would be like, shoot your shot, girl. But it's just,
sure.
We got to be a little, got to have consent. Got to have consent. Yeah. This is the one time.
P.S. I was like rewinding, and when Belinda, when Natasha Rothwell was like, just so you know, this is consent. Do you guys do that here? We just started. I was like on the
hilarious.
floor.
Hilarious.
But speaking of, when will it end? This is the tip of the motherfucking iceberg. We are done for. Like,
just put him away. Just put him away. Why are you wasting time?
He is. But we're going to get a trickle out of like every, oh God.
Diddy is just starting to now to like quasi respond to this stuff where he's like making statements or through his lawyers about like, why is my sex life on display and blah, blah, blah. As though like he's sort of like, tacitly admitting that he might be bisexual or whatever. No. And it's it's just, well, your sex life is on display because many people are saying that 80% of it was non-consensual. And that's why your sex life is on display. Yeah. So speaking of criminal, we are just days away from, I don't know what to call these three Muppets in space, Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, and Katy Perry going into literally the stratosphere.
Not Muppets.
I don't know what else to say. We are just, April 14th is the day where the planet will say to the aliens of the universe, can you tell the difference between Lauren Sanchez and Kimberly Guilfoyle? That's why we're doing this, right? Why is this happening? Why?
A P.S. in those pictures where it's like them, and then I think the crew members. Who are those other women? I don't know who they are.
I don't know.
I think it's the crew. But like when you see Lauren Sanchez's face, it is a medical marvel, and not in the good way.
We have to think of a term for that face that everyone has. Should we just call it millennium face or millennium face? Like for the new face of the new millennium. Yeah, everyone's got it.
The Millennium Falcon is what it is.
The Millennium Vulture. Good Lord. Undo a knot. Jesus.
Not to quote myself, but yowza.
It's
rough. But again, will Katy Perry pull out a microphone and start singing, "You're so hypnotizing, could you be the angel"?
I hope they eject her. I hope they eject her when that happens.
I want her like when she was in the VMAs, and I did like this part of her performance when she flew up into the sky and spun around and was like, "You're a whole nother world." Like, I love that song.
I hope they leave her there.
I want her to perform. If she doesn't perform in space, like, why was she going?
I wonder if we will get some results on the age-old question about injectables in space. That's what I want. What if Lauren Sanchez walks out of this rocket ship after they land and looks like a completely different person? And Jeff Bezos is like, can I return this? Thanks.
She is gonna like look like a Picasso. Like her eye is gonna be down by her mouth.
She's gonna look like Demi Moore at the end of The Substance when she walks out of that plane.
Oh my God, that's so horrible.
This is what I want. I want the rocket to land, and I want Gayle and Katy to run from it, screaming. And Lauren Sanchez to crawl out of it and just go, my face. Terrible.
For her.
Great for us. Terrible for her.
Dominick, I'm nervous. Something's
about this flight? What?
Something's gonna happen. I don't know.
You think like the ship's gonna explode?
Didn't like
oh my God. Another ship? Don't say that.
No,
we can't live without Gayle King. We can't live without Gayle
I'm
King.
aware. That's why I'm nervous.
The other two?
Put
them in a sidecar.
I don't know. I mean, P.S. not for us to have to, like, our hand being forced to agree with Olivia Munn when she went on Jenna and Friends. Did you see this?
No, what did she say?
She went on Jenna and Friends. It's like, what? Said everything we just said. Why are we doing this? It makes no sense. Who are the people? Why are these the people that are going up into space? Like, people are dying. people are dying. Like, why are we spending all this money to have them just like go to space for 10 minutes for no reason? And Jenna was just like, yeah, like she like had nothing to say because she's going to be like, yeah, I know they're so stupid, right? Like she can't say that. She's like, and she's like, well, you know, she just like couldn't.
It's such an unlikely threesome. And it's like at a time when people are losing their life savings, this just seems like a strange thing for anyone to spend really money on for any effing
It's really
reason.
bad. It's especially like in the last week, what's going on in the world. Like it's really bad.
Yeah. And we want everyone else to know as well, like no matter what's going on, we will always be here. This is the one constant in your life, this podcast. We haven't missed a Wednesday in over 2 years, just so you know.
And because of you guys signing up for the Patreon, this is terrible. We're turning this into a plug for ourselves.
What do you mean?
Because you sign up for the Patreon or the Apple subscription or listen to the ads, we truly do use that money to make the show. And so it does actually keep us sustainable.
Yes, it is an investment for you. Think of this podcast as your 401k, and we'll leave it right at that. Speaking of faces, Madonna and Elton John have ended their feud. Hell has frozen over. As the story goes, Madonna heard that Elton John was going to be with Brandi Carlile at SNL and just said, I'm going to SNL and I'm confronting this old queen about all the shit he said about me over the years. When you can see Madonna sitting in the audience in SNL, no one announced she was going to be there. And when the show ended, she went backstage and just supposedly surprised Elton and was like,
tapped him on the shoulder.
But according to her on her Instagram page, that is basically how it went. She just went into his dressing room and said, what's up? And Elton apparently just looked at her and said, forgive me. And then they hugged it out. He said he's written a song for her. They want to collaborate.
This was planned. Planned
planned or not, it's Titanic. It doesn't even matter. These are actual icons. I don't care if they could script this out as much as they want. It was a true surprise. And Elton's very sad now. You know, he's lost his eyesight. He's been doing interviews recently. He can't read. He can't watch his sons play rugby. He's been he's in.
I'm going to be that. Like, that's me.
You also can't watch Elton John's children play rugby.
Yeah.
How have you managed?
Okay, wait, really quickly. Imagine going, you're like, I'm going to SNL. I finally got tickets. Like, I can't wait. Like, blah, blah, blah. You walk and you're like, like they like are like ushering you to your seat. And you're like, walk. And then you turn into your row and you just see Madonna sitting there looking in. I'm sure she looked like a fucking freak show. And it's just like her sitting there like that meme of New York where she's like on the bed, like waiting. Do you know what I'm talking about? And it's just her sitting there like waiting for the show to be over. Can you imagine what would happen to you?
I would have passed out. If they panned the audience, I would have appeared asleep next to her because I would have fainted.
You'd been like unconscious.
Yeah. We went to a Cher concert once. I'm sure it was the farewell tour 20 years ago. P.S. Spoiler alert, she did not actually farewell.
Yeah, it wasn't the farewell. Yeah.
And Whoopi Goldberg sat directly next to me. And I just kept looking at the people I was with. And I was like, am I supposed to say something? And I almost,
the answer's no.
I almost fainted. Fainted.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. We had a couple of nice conversations, but I never acknowledged that she was Whoopi Goldberg.
I feel like they want it that way, don't they?
I don't know. We'll tell you in a couple of years when you and I are that level of famous from this podcast, and we'll see how we handle it.
Okay, great.
Kelly Clarkson, there's a rumor going around that when her contract is up next year, that she wants to leave her talk show, leave New York, move down south, and spend more time with her children. Well, NBC is literally taking the door off of the vault to make sure that doesn't happen. Because this is their Ellen from 20 years ago.
I know.
This is their money-making afternoon flagship. They love her.
I feel like everyone watches the show. I feel like it, and it's like such a dying medium, and she actually like people like it, and it's because she performs and she still has such a good voice.
100%.
And she sings like every favorite song that you wish she would have covered in her life, and she does it, like, which is really smart.
She's what we need. Like it's what a show like that is supposed to be, because she is a down-home girl. She is apolitical. She is truly an American idol, and her going away, not good business-wise, because they can't fill that slot.
I will say she's actually not apolitical. She does a lot of stuff like for like Trans Day, National Trans Day, or International like Day of Trans.
Sure.
Like she was like,
but how
did
can
all the stories?
I agree with you.
Like she like is like, you don't think that she's gonna be, because she's like from the South and like all this stuff. Like she was like, for like Trans Remembrance Day, here's all these stories of these trans people like on like a daytime talk show on NBC. Like she actually like. I
amend what I said. She is in a way, but she does it in a way that's so harmless and like in a Dolly Parton kind of way that everyone loves her. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to dislike her in the way that it's hard to dislike Dolly. So you're right about that, but she's a commodity like at this point. Like they need that energy in the afternoon. I don't know what they're going to do.
I always said she always is like she was just Sookie Stackhouse. Remember from True Blood? Remember?
A little bit, yeah.
She just was that girl that was a waitress that like had a good voice that you were like, oh, you know, like maybe one day you'll get out of this town. And she did.
Yeah.
You know.
Much less annoying than Sookie, though, who I wanted to punch 5 minutes after meeting her and through every episode of True Blood.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was supposed to be a live action version of the Disney movie Tangled, which I believe is a Rapunzel or whatever.
It is Rapunzel. It is a great movie, by the way. Have you ever seen it?
I have not, but you'll be happy to know if you love it. And I know how you feel about the Disney live action movies, that the live action version of Tangled has been put on pause because of Snow White.
Listen,
they're rethinking the whole thing now.
I don't think they don't need to do it. The first one is so good.
Have you ever seen it?
Mandy Moore.
I've not.
Mandy Moore is Rapunzel, and she is so good at singing the songs. The songs are great. It's funny. Tangled walked so Frozen could become like the biggest phenomenon of all time. Okay. Like all of the comedy in Frozen was already done in Tangled, and I stand by. I think it's one of the best Disney movies of all time.
Whoa, that's quite an endorsement.
It is a great movie.
All right. Well, you heard it here.
It doesn't need to be touched, is what I'm going to say.
You heard it here from the critics' cunt. White Lotus, no. Tangled, yes.
Yes.
So say Chris DeRosa. I would like to talk about a story now that is near and dear to my heart, even though it really doesn't move the needle in pop culture at all. Joey Lawrence, my childhood crush, my main childhood crush, in an interview recently talked about Lawrence being his middle name and not his last name. It turns out all of the Lawrence boys had to change their last name to Lawrence after Joey became the first one famous, when their real last name is Mignonia. Let me say that one more time. Mignonia, like filet mignonia, Mignogna. They are intensely Italian, which has only made me fall further in love with Joseph Lawrence Mignonia. And they talked about the hardship of having names that were just two first names and having it not be their actual name, and a lot of confusion that would be at the airport with passports and all sorts of other things. Really, really tugged at my heartstrings and made me want to make love to Joey Lawrence. To make sure he felt better after what we can only describe as Namegate.
Well, I will. You're so stupid. I will say Mignonia, which when you would see it written down, I'm assuming is like 97 G's. that's not great. You know what I mean? Like for have it to be like up in lights, like Mignonia is not.
I don't know. I think I was thinking this morning in the shower, because I think often of Joey Lawrence while in the shower, is that if they had Mignonia'd him, he could have been a bigger star. He could have been like a Joe Manganiello or Manganiello, however you pronounce. I don't know. But what I want to say is this: Joey Lawrence, I am in love with you, and I want to love you physically. I'll pay you to do so. Dominick. I'm just, you know what? I'm in a very shoot my shot
Dominick,
era.
Don't do this.
If I need to pay him, I'm going to start. I know. You know what? Fixing Famous People is starting a Go Fuck Me account. That's what I'm going to call it. And I want you to donate to it so I can give Joey Lawrence money to make love to me.
I'm going to kill you.
It doesn't even have to be passionate. Just spend 5 minutes with me in a dark closet.
A Go Fuck Me. You've been waiting for that one, haven't you?
I mean, if I were waiting, Joey would be the one I'd wait for. That's for sure. So putting it out there.
You know what's funny? I remember watching this on Nickelodeon as a literal child, that apparently Leonardo DiCaprio, his stage name was about to be, when he was a kid, Lenny Williams.
Wow.
Think about that. And they wanted to do that so he could be like fun and crazy. You know what I mean? And then they didn't, and they kept it Leonardo DiCaprio, and that's the name of a star.
Without question, that would have been his career would have not been the same.
Correct.
It just simply wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Duchess of Schmuckers. We waited 30 minutes before bringing her up this week. You're welcome.
And you're anyway. Yeah. That's restraint, people. Okay.
She sold out. She had to issue an apology because some people, they had to cancel the orders. I'm among the people who did not get their orders fulfilled. I'll be honest. I wasn't even going to tell you. I tried to order the stuff. I ordered it too. I was going to surprise you.
Hey, you got in.
Yeah. And I didn't get my orders.
No, don't even wait. So you clicked purchase and it said, yeah, you are.
Oh no, it said sold out. No. I did not. I showed up too late and I was unable to buy anything because it was all sold out.
Well done. So that's what I'm saying to you. Dominick, everyone knows. We know, you know, listening. She knows that we know that she knows. Like, she made 50 jars of this jam. I don't want to hear it. I've yet to see one person on the internet that is not a celebrity that got it mailed to them directly from her. Like that not skinny but not fat woman that like she wrote the letter to. She sent her the jam, which in my opinion is amazing. Like I'm like, yes, great. Like she is mean sometimes. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I like that. Like she's like, oh, you're mean to me? Okay, here's this. And you're a famous podcaster. Here's the jam, you stupid bitch. Which makes me like her. But you cannot tell me that she had 5,000 jars of jam. You can't tell me that. There's no way. There's no way. She made 100 of them and she sent them to people. And now here we are again, where she's like, I'm doing this thing. Everyone listening to this podcast, I need you to send me or Dominick or the Fixing Famous People Instagram account videos of a regular person putting the jam on their Instagram story. And now a regular person does not mean Kris Jenner, any podcaster that's famous, another celebrity, Blake Lively, Gwyneth Paltrow, excuse me. Anyone with like over 100,000 Instagram followers does not count. This is like a regular person like me or you listening. Okay? You're not going to be able to do it because no one has gotten it. Period.
Yeah, that's going to be a big day when people start unboxing. I mean, I think it should. And I think we will find out exactly how many of these she did and did not make as a result of that. I don't see how she was unprepared for the volume. Like it was a 2-year lead up to this and how they could be unprepared. It's like Netflix doing a live show and then Netflix crashes. It's like, how'd you not know that all these people were going to be here? It's all you've talked about for 2 years.
Well, she showed us the raspberries on the conveyor belt. I got that 9 million times sent to me of the raspberries, like her in the factory, like pressing the raspberries. So like, what's up? Is she really legitimately making them from the raspberries that she grows in her garden? It might be yes, because she's like, I'm getting mad now. I want to root for her so badly. I want her to succeed. But she makes it impossible.
I honestly, at my core, don't give a shit if she succeeds or not, but I am interested in this journey for her because I feel like she's playing dress up her whole life. She's like, I want to be a princess. No, I don't. I want to run this brand. Oh, this is a lot of work. No, I don't. Like because she sold all of this shit out, because the interest in her, no matter how crazy she is in public, or no matter how crazy her stories get in her interviews and her behavior, she still is a major brand that I don't know that she'll be Martha Stewart level, but it is very clear based on the response to the few products that she's offering that she could at the very least be Goop level if she just got her shit together. Why isn't she getting her shit together?
Why isn't she making a cashmere sweater line? Hello?
It's so weird.
Is this thing on?
It's so weird.
I would buy one and they could be expensive. They could be like $400 cashmere sweaters. Like, why isn't she doing that?
It's so, who's advised? Her entire inventory sold out in 1 hour. How were they not prepared for that? It was like
9 a.m. in the morning when I went to go buy it and it was already sold out.
How were they not prepared?
Because it's not, there's no way it's real. There's no way. There's just no way. I don't believe it at all.
Stop playing dress up or you lose my fandom. You lose my interest.
That's what I'm saying.
And just stop it.
And
it's nonsense.
I've been saying to people, I'm like, guys, this is the thing. The reason everyone's so mad is because like, even whenever we get to, we sit through her show, we do all this stuff. Even when we get to the jam, it's like, I still can't get the jam because I'm not a celebrity and I'm not in your inner circle. And I'm not someone that you're trying to suck up to and send jam to, like Mindy Kaling,
Speaking of jam, let's talk about someone who loves to jam. God, that has to be the weakest segue.
Goodbye.
I'm about to talk about JoJo Siwa.
I need to leave.
JoJo Siwa, who we were roasting last week here because
rightfully so.
She wanted to hire us as PAs for her elephant dance tour.
We're too high up on the call sheet to do that anymore, JoJo. I'm so sorry to tell you.
So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we find out from Rebecca Bregman that she is a contestant on UK Celebrity Big Brother. Not Rebecca sending us an article that says, who is JoJo Siwa?
I'm not going to lie, to like the random like 50-year-old woman who's like watching the UK Big Brother. She does need that article.
Sure. There are people that listen to this podcast that don't know who she is. But it's just
beyond.
I don't like, and I'm torn between, do I purchase the live feeds or this, or do I pretend it's not happening?
I know. I mean, they're catching a viewership. At least for the first episode, they're catching a view, and it's right here, me.
Celebrity Big Brother, do people get voted out by the public? Oh, they do.
It's them. Isn't it them that vote them out?
No, it's the public, because remember, like Austin from A-List was on it, and I remember he was like a fan favorite, and he got, oh wait, I don't know.
No, I think it's them. Right. They vote them. It's like Survivor, basically, but in a house. They vote. Because I remember them like vote. They vote.
Let's see how long she stays. Is the point
I'm not going to lie. This could be really good for her. When she has to just like be a person. Because this is the thing. She is like so famous and handled by all her people that like when she's just like sleeping in a twin bed next to like some random person, like that could be good for her. Because she could just be like, yeah, I'm like her weird accent. It's like not Southern, but it's not Southern. She's like,
Cartman. She's the lesbian
literally
Cartman.
Is Cartman.
Hey guys, I invented gay pop. What up, guys?
She is Cartman.
How about Celebrity Big Brother in the UK? What's up? Oh, God. Every week I imitate her and I throw my fucking back out.
Respect my authority. But when she's just like an average person, like laying in a twin bed, like a messy twin bed next to the next person, she could shine in a way that like when we strip away the like fake fireball and her wearing that weird outfit that has just like rainbow flags all over it in rhinestones and she has like glitter makeup. Do you know what I mean? When she's not being like her assholey self, like, and she just has to be there and like has no hair and makeup and is just like doing her own makeup. This is a good move for her. I'm not going to lie to you.
We'll see. We will see what happens. It was not one that we would even pitch for her. I didn't even think
never
of this. So her people are obviously also concerned and think that this is a good move. So let's see what happens. Watch her be eliminated before this podcast is done today.
Is out.
Like,
yeah.
We're, instead of saying where's Shelly, we're going to say where's JoJo. She's just JoJo from Big Brother.
They would be like, you're a billionaire. They're going to be like, you're a pop star that sells out arenas. Like, you don't need to win this, and then vote her out immediately, which I would do.
You're a pop star that sells out arenas and uses your fans as the fucking crew for those concerts. So while we're in England, let's just say this one line, because I know you're not going to want to talk about it either, but I feel like we need to say something. Russell Brand has been charged with rape again / we saw this coming.
Already had him on the unfixable list.
Good luck, sir. Enjoy the unfixables list.
Goodbye.
Val Kilmer passed away since our last broadcast. Who doesn't love Val Kilmer?
I know, that's sad.
You know who does love Val Kilmer is the one and only Cher, who has in more than one interview described Val as either the love of her life or the one who got away.
No.
Like when they were together, they were together. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Why can't, this is the thing. Why couldn't she have just been like, hey, what's up? And just like, what was he doing? You know?
With what? You mean like with his scarves or what?
No, couldn't she have just been like, let's be together?
I don't know.
Like at a certain point when you're a celebrity, don't you want to just be like, sure, you know?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I as a non-celebrity want to be like that. But then Grindr goes off and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not actually that person.
Goodbye.
I'm a whore. So I don't know. I'm not saying Cher's a whore, but if she wanted to be, of course we would co-sign that. Tom Cruise gave an eloquent tribute to Val, they of the Top Gun friendship. I'm deliberately bringing up Tom Cruise because this is good news to me and it won't be to you. But the full trailer for Mission Impossible 8, The Final Reckoning, has been released.
Sure. What's the next one going to be called? The Finalist Reckoning? Like, get out of it.
Reckoning from the Dead. Sir. I love the Mission. I love the Mission Impossible movies and I'm so excited. It looks fantastic. He is hanging from a plane again and doing all the things. The world's at risk.
He wants to die. He wants to die. This is him saying, please get me out of here. Wink, wink, nod, nod, like mouthing Morse code to us. He wants to be thrown from this plane and perish.
That's an interesting point because that would solidify a movie star's legend as if he died while doing
a stunt,
something he was passionate about. I think you might be right. I think this is his death wish is to die while making Mission Impossible. He's like, 9.
Fuck, hanging onto the side of a plane didn't kill me. Like, gotta do it again.
Gotta make another one. Gotta make another one until I croak.
And remember in Top Gun Maverick, they actually went in those planes and was doing all that. There was another driver behind the actor, doing the real, for zero reason other than maybe he was maybe I can cut the fuel line of my plane and then it'll go down. That's P.S. The Mission Impossible 9 should be Mission Impossible 9. What was it? Reckoning from the Dead.
Reckoning from the Dead.
Butthole. Where's Shelly? That's all.
Right. The real Mission Impossible is finding Shelly. Maybe that's the mission he should choose to accept in the next one. That is a headline.
Period.
Mission Impossible 9, Finding Shelly. Butthole, Finding Shelly.
I'm first one in line. I got my ticket in hand.
He knows where she is too. He absolutely, she's probably in his basement.
Well, technically the police know where she is because they did a wellness check on her and said she was fine.
Okay, wild theory.
No.
Not only is Shelly Miscavige in Tom Cruise's basement, she is running a bakery down there. She's the one that makes all those fucking coconut cakes.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Where's Shelly? Oh, she's in the coconut kitchen. Where did you think she was? She's cooking those cakes all year.
Have I ever told you that someone I know, their parents get the cake?
I think you did.
And they were like, he's so nice. And I grabbed this person by the shoulders and was shaking them and was like, they're trying to recruit you into Scientology.
Oh my God.
And this person was like, huh. And I was like, get out of here. Was screaming in their face.
But how was the cake is my question.
Apparently
did they describe it as moist?
Great. And I have a photo of it.
There is a lot to go over on the a la carte this week. 2 stories that we'll discuss, probably not at length. And in fact, we may not even discuss them on the a la carte. But after 30 years, Deborah Norville is leaving Inside Edition. And the follow-up story to that is Inside Edition is still on television? Who the fuck knew this?
I already have my talking points for that. I was looking at that and was like, ooh, I have great points here.
We will talk about it on the
we should.
Because Inside Edition was so inside, no one knew she was still here. Nobody knew. We'll talk about that. Ariana Grande is #1 again after releasing the 17th deluxe version of Eternal Sun. She's going to keep releasing it every 6 months to make more money.
They all do. We'll talk about it on the a la carte, but they all do that now. I don't know what it is, but we'll figure it out.
Bill Murray talks about, and I'd forgotten about this. I think we talked about it, but his misbehavior on the set of Aziz Ansari's directorial debut tanked the entire film. And I feel terrible for Aziz. I do not feel terrible for Bill Murray because he's a bit of a ledge. We'll talk about that.
That's a lifetime worth of, there's bodies in his wake.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
And, of course, Greta Gerwig is directing the new Narnia movies, and there is already a backlash about some gender casting in that.
There we go.
And we will
P.S. of a lion, of a CGI lion, by the way.
Of a lion. It involves Meryl Streep. It's a very Hollywood story. We don't know how it's going to, I don't even know how I'm supposed to feel about it. You'll have to tell me how to feel here because I'm uninterested in developing my own emotions for the story.
Sure, I'll tell you.
I want it to succeed. And that's it. So by the time we talk to you again next week, well, first of all, today we're fixing Hayden Panettiere. Please stick around for that. It's a lot of fun. And please listen to the Patreon. We'll have this and more fun stories. And by this time next week, we will know what happened with Gayle, Lauren, and Katy in space. I can't think of anything happening that will be a bigger story than this between now and then. So please.
Wait, what day is it? What day is it?
April 14th. I believe it's a Monday. What's the matter?
Oh, no. I'm just thinking like it's about to happen.
My God, I thought you had like a doctor's appointment or something.
No. I'm just
I hope it's carried live somewhere. I'm sure that it will be streamed live. I don't want disaster at all. Obviously, that would be horrible. I do want some funny shit to happen. I want a wig to fly off because of gravity. I want one breast implant to end up in someone's neck. I just want things to happen on this flight. I just do. I want it to be like an episode, like a Madcap Golden Girls episode.
Well, they are putting a human science experiment into space. So there it is. That is what it is.
God love this woman. I can't. We've already been so vicious to her. I can't say anything more. But
she deserves it. She's a horrible person, and so is
to Lauren Sanchez, Katy Perry, to Gayle King. Bon voyage, and we will be back with Hayden Panettiere. Well, she's not actually going to be here, but we will be, though, after these vital messages.
Save the cheerleader, save the world. Dominic.
Christopher.
A friend is back. A friend. You know her as Little Miss Recap, Amy Archer, the person that taught us about Taylor Sheridan horse prancing, which I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
Dressage.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I refuse to call it its real name. It's horse prancing. She wowed us at Kevin Costner, and we love her to death, and she's back, and welcome.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad that you always kind of help me with giving me a list with someone on it that I will know, because I know nothing about pop culture, but
you do. You think that you don't, but you do.
Well, I'm thrilled to talk about anyone who's been on a soap opera. So here we go.
Yeah.
You will come back. I am about to do a full on, I don't know when I'm going to do it. It's going to be in the next couple of weeks. I'm doing a full on tribute to Beyond the Gates on CBS, which I know you haven't watched yet.
I have to watch this because CBS is my jam. That's what I grew up on.
Just if you go on Paramount Plus and watch Beyond the Gates, you will not regret it. You will not.
Okay, I'm going to watch it.
Stellar. We are here this week to fix Hayden Panettiere. Right now, my mother's going, who the hell is that? Well, Google it. Google her, Mom. Google her. She was
Lizzie
on Heroes.
Spalding. Lizzie Spalding.
You'll remember her as the cheerleader on Heroes. And I will be saying, save the cheerleader, save the world 9 million times on this podcast.
Which is like core for your childhoods, right?
100%.
Heroes?
Yeah.
I was a little older for Heroes. I think I was in my 20s or when did that air? I mean, I was born in 1977, so I was in my late 20s.
Oh, you look great. And you were definitely a full-grown adult, as was I. I thought you were Chris's age. You looked to be Chris's age. Chris was definitely in high school when that show was on. Am I right,
2006. Yeah, I was in high school, 2006.
I also know her as Juliet Barnes, which I loved Nashville.
I love Nashville too.
Loved it. Yes.
So for those who are unfamiliar, yes, as a child, she was on CBS's Guiding Light. And then she was in Heroes. And then she was in Scream. She was in the Scream franchise, I should say. And then she was in Nashville with one of our favorites, the sultry Connie Britton.
Connie Britton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Connie?
Person most likely to look like she was just been freshly fucked in a bathroom
all the time.
Her
hair always says, I can't even tell you where I just came from.
Where I just came from. Yeah.
Woo! We should put Connie Britton on the Invincibles list. I can't think of a single thing she'd do.
I can't think of a single misstep.
She could get banged out right on the stage and we'd be like, there she is again. Like,
all right. Before we fix Hayden Panettiere and do a deeper dive into her career, it's time for the middle name game, where we ask Christopher and our guests if they will guess the middle name of the person we are trying to fix. Before I give you the details, Amy, do you already know Hayden Panettiere's middle name?
I do not.
Great. Then you're eligible to play. It is the only requirement.
All right. And you're just taking me for my word on this. Okay.
Yeah, because how am I going to prove it?
Now I've put a doubt in your mind that maybe
I will say if you guess this correctly, I will automatically think that you're bullshit because I don't think either of you is going to guess.
No, I know it's something fucking ridiculous. I just energetically know.
Not ridiculous only in that it's not what you would expect. It's not like
it's not of its time.
Well, I'm going to give you the clues and you'll have to to decide.
Okay. All right.
Hayden I almost said her middle name. Hayden Panettiere. She was born August 21st, 1989, just shortly after I graduated from high school. Fuck you, Hayden Panettiere. No, joking. I'm happy you're born.
I mean, she's my age.
Fuck you too then. She's 35. She was born and partly raised in Palisades, New York. All right. August 21st. I believe that puts her on the cusp of Virgo. And what's before Virgo? Leo? It's a Leo Virgo. I'm not sure what day the 21st falls on, but Leo Virgo cusp.
She's probably, it depends on what time of day she was born.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends on where and what time.
Yeah. I would guess Leo.
If I ask Siri what time of day she was born, we're going to be here all night because it's going to take forever for her to figure out.
Do we care that much? No, we don't.
We don't.
Keep going.
So you have the facts. Born in 89, 35 years old, Palisades, New York, somewhere in the Leo Virgo miasma of it all.
Okay.
What is Hayden Panettiere's middle name?
I'm going to go traditional. And I'm going to say Elizabeth.
Christopher?
It's something crazy. And I energetically, I know I'm wrong, but I'm going to say Beverly. But energetically, like it's Beverly-esque. I know it.
Wow. It is not Elizabeth. It is also not Beverly, but it's so close to Beverly.
I knew it.
He wins every time.
It's close to it's not enough for a win. It's not even enough for a half point.
But it's closer than Elizabeth.
It's Leslie.
No.
It's Leslie.
Wait, her mother's name is Leslie.
Well, there you go.
Oh, interesting.
So she is okay. All right. I see what you're doing there, Leslie.
Interesting.
Not you knowing her mother's middle name. Also,
no, it's her first name. She is the daughter of Leslie Vogel, a former soap opera actress, and Alan Lee Skip Panettiere, a captain in the New York City Fire Department.
Can I say something?
Please,
Hot take. Your dad's name is Skip. You're doomed. You're gonna have problems. You're just gonna have problems. You just are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, I'm looking at Leslie Vogel here, and I'm trying to figure out what will tell. Oh, she was on Loving.
She was on One Life to Live and then Loving, I believe.
Interesting. Okay. So as the elder stateshuman of this podcast today, my first recollection of her being in existence was on Heroes, was on the NBC show Heroes, because the first season of that show was white hot, as they say.
Yeah.
Save the cheerleaders, save the world. And she was the cheerleader. So her face was like everywhere that year. I wasn't a fan of Heroes, but what I understand is that the first season was great and every episode after that just didn't compare.
Agree.
So she sort of fell off the map for me after the first season of Heroes.
It was also like Lost was starting at that point too. So it was like those shows, like it was like a Lost Junior kind of. And the first season is incredible.
It's incredible. I agree.
Like incredible. And especially for like, at the time, like it wasn't HBO, it was like NBC.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it was like on NBC. It was hot, baby. Like we were in high school and we were like watching it and it was almost like we were like, what is this? Like I'm used to watching The Hills. Like what's this? But when I went back and rewatched it, like once Netflix started and stuff, and like when they was like streamable, I was like, this was such a fucking good show for the first season. And then it just was weird. And it was one of those shows where they like wanted to do this, like, oh, we're going to do this big twist where now we're in the future and we're in the past. And there's all these different like now it's like Marvel is doing this and it's like working, right. But like, here's this other reality that we're going to jump to where like all this different stuff's happening and we weren't there yet.
No. And I think it was what really made it work, if I remember, is again, my girls were born that year. So a lot is hazy.
Yeah, sure.
But I think that what made it really work was you had a great ensemble cast. And we very much like Lost used to do in the first 2 seasons. You go into the backstory of each character and how they were brought together. And I love stories like that. And that's what made it work. And then they lost the thread. I don't know what happened.
And like one of the characters' names was Hero. And he spoke completely in Japanese, other than saying save the cheerleader, save the world. And like at the time, like no, that wasn't a thing that you did. Like you had to read subtitles for like half the show. And like nowadays it's like please Shogun like won every single award it was up for. And and we like loved it. But like at the time that was a groundbreak in my opinion, at least for the shows that like I grew up watching. That was a humongous step of like, look, we're integrating another whole culture and language into a primetime network show.
Yeah, and it was even visually beautiful. Yes. I remember it being really visually something.
And it was like a mystery, like so many shows now. I mean, even now, White Lotus, Yellow Jackets, all these shows. It's like, we know something big is going to happen, but we're like, Game of Thrones, we're hurtling towards this big final thing that's going to happen. Like, what will it be? Like, we know from the outset that something really big is going to happen at the end, you know?
I also remember vividly, she played a villain on Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Heard of it?
Ooh.
She was like a Regina George-ish type.
I remember this episode.
But very troubled. A very troubled girl. But she was a child actor like for real. Like she has a list of credits as a kid that is incredibly impressive. And whether or not there's, nepotism or not involved, like she worked. She was actually in 1998 at the age of 9. She was the voice of Dot in the film A Bug's Life.
No.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, she was in something else that was animated too, right after that. I forget what it was, but she did quite a bit of voice work.
Yeah, but we loved A Bug's like that. A Bug's Life was for me, and we loved A Bug's Life.
See, you loved her before you even knew who she was.
Before I even knew who she was.
She was amazing as Lizzie Spaulding. Her character got leukemia when she was on Guiding Lights, so she was
of course. Yes, of course she did.
Listen, after Annie Dutton came back from Amish country and kidnapped her and ran away with her, and then discovered Reva's clone, it was a whole thing. And then she was Philip and Beth's daughter, which Philip and Beth are a big couple.
On Guiding Light, yes.
We wonder why everyone in this country is so mentally fucked up. And that
you think it's because of these soaps?
That sentence you just said right now is why.
So she had leukemia, and the show actually won like a big prestigious award from the Leukemia Society for their portrayal. I remember it was really... I was very upset.
So she's an award-winning actor, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
she is. I mean, she
is
really
from
is.
Nashville, I think.
And she's kind of also like one of the people that gets like very famous off of Heroes. Like, she gets really famous. Like, even Zachary Quinto doesn't really kind of get like the star turn that he
deserved.
Not
like she did. No, not like she did.
Milo kind of does, but it still is like delayed. Like he's now a huge celebrity, but I even think like she was the one that kind of got all of the fame.
Yes.
Her dad in it, like, who was incredible in the first season. I can't even think of what his name is. And he was like so good.
Yeah.
Of the three names you mentioned, like none of these people are household names, but for pop culture people like us, Hayden is the name that stuck. Like she became the instant star of that show. And Nashville just sort of cemented that really.
I
think
so
like her getting on that show was what sort of just let you know that she was just the kind of star with, you wouldn't see her in something every year, but she's part of the lexicon, and she still is, you know?
Well, and that was like born off of the success of Glee. They were like, oh, we can do another show where there's like songs and like musical numbers. And they were like, oh, we've had this like idea for this show forever. It's seemingly, we had the idea for this show. Let's do it. And then it's Connie Britton, who's like coming off of Friday Night Lights. And then her, who like kind of didn't really do anything for a couple years of note other than bringing on 3 All or Nothing, which we will get to.
Okay.
Opposite Solange, maybe you've heard of her. And she like was the main character of the whole show. And it was like a big ABC show that was on like kind of like was in there with Scandal, which was starting and becoming a humongous success. Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice was probably still on the air, which was a spinoff of Grey's Anatomy. Like it was up there. She was like, she had it all in the palm of her hand, baby.
It was a big show.
It was huge. We watched it every week. One thing I really
liked about it is a lot of the minor characters were actual songwriters that they cast, and they were great. They got lucky with a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. And they wrote beautiful songs. Like I actually own a couple of the soundtracks. It was so good. It was really good.
But that's like me with the Smash soundtrack that I listen to all the time. And I'm like, why the fuck did I ever watch this show? But like songs slap, you know?
Yep.
I did want you to know that Hayden Panettiere was nominated for a Grammy Award for A Bug's Life. Just so we're clear that film that you didn't know she was in, that you already loved, almost got her a Grammy.
How? Does she sing in it?
It must have been best soundtrack or something, or best soundtrack from film or television. There's a Grammy category for that, and they probably give it to every artist that sings a song. So Dot, her character, must have sang.
Yeah. Oh, she's in Bring It On All or Nothing the same year as Heroes starts. That's fucking crazy.
Oh, so it was a 1-2 punch. She was supposed to be taking over pop culture.
Yeah. Well, Bring It On, obviously groundbreaking film for millennials. You know what I mean? Like it's Mean Girls.
The original. I remember it.
The original Bring It On. Yep. Bring It On is like Mean Girls is the top of the pyramid, but then like right below that is Bring It On is in a number 2 or 3 spot for us millennials. Bring It On 2 was on like Lifetime or something terrible.
Okay.
Bring It On 3 All or Nothing, dare I say, returned to, for it being a direct-to-TV movie, brought it back to the original kind of conceit of like the Toros versus the Clovers in a different way. And Hayden was like the Big Red kind of character. I'm like, it's not exactly this, but Solange Knowles, Beyonce's sister, played the like, what is her name? The main Clover, basically, but like they're different teams.
Would I have seen? Yeah, well, I know I saw the first one, but I don't know if I saw Bring It On 3 All or Nothing.
But you might have seen. You probably saw it on like TNT one day. Do you know, or like ABC fan, or like
my kids were born that year. Sure. I don't remember.
But like it was. I mean, it was stupid, obviously, but it was like. I was like, oh, this like isn't horrible. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like,
I get it.
For it being a stupid movie that was like for television, like this was actually kind of good.
She was in I Love You, Beth Cooper. I loved that movie too.
She was great in it.
Okay. All right.
She has talent. Like
she does. She played that leukemia victim like no one else's business.
Yes.
Which to do that convincingly as a child is pretty. She's got to be a good actor. She's got to be.
You are right. I'm going to kill Amy. I'm going to kill her.
She, by the way, in September of 2010, starred as, wait for it, Amanda Knox in the controversial Amanda Knox murder on trial in Italy.
We just covered this on my podcast with our friends Ace and Caitlin, who I believe you guys know.
Yes, we did.
We just covered that movie. Her wig work in that.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Award winning.
Oh, I love wig work.
It's a wild movie. You know, it's exactly what you would think for an Amanda Knox like television movie. It's exactly, you know, it's just Hayden in bad wigs running around, just acting crazy.
Now, I have not. If I saw the movie, it was in 2010, which is a year that I have no memory of because it's a year that isn't the one we're in right now. So my question is, was that crime? Because we already know now what happened. I mean, we know.
Right.
At the time of the movie being released, was the ending just nebulous? Because we didn't know back then, like, that the real murderer was already in custody and was not Amanda Knox.
It was as if the prosecutors wrote the movie. It was like just a damnation of Amanda Knox.
Wow.
It was like there was a scene of her and her boyfriend, and they're telling her about the grisly murder of her roommate, and she's like, "Oh, can we just go get some lingerie in the villa?" Like, I'm so crazy.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. That 2010.
Yes.
Like we would never be able to make this.
No,
right?
it was real bad. It was real
surprise.
bad. Yeah.
Well, my fix is obviously that she needs to remake the movie with the right ending and also apologize to Amanda Knox.
Yeah, so the Amanda Knox story was not a highlight for her. Somewhere in here, she has like a single. Like she has a song. Called Wake Up Call that I played ironically in my first car I ever had, but then slowly really liked the song despite her rapping in it.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
But the chorus, this is your wake up call. And the guy that she's singing the song to as she's on stage and is telling him, like, this is your wake up call that I'm on to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian Stan.
No.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Academy Award nominee Sebastian Stan.
I'm doing it. I'm going to pull it up right now.
Marvel Universe.
Hayden.
I can't believe it.
Winter Soldier. Isn't that?
He is the Winter Soldier.
Wake up call. It's the fourth thing when you. Here it is.
It's not terrible.
It's not bad. For like, when did this come out? Probably like
2 seconds after Stars Are Blind, maybe?
It sounds
like a watered down version of that.
Actually, yes. Yeah.
Well, she sang all of her own stuff on Nashville.
Yeah. No, she like has a good voice.
Yeah. I mean, Juliet was always my least favorite musical person on that show. I mean, Connie Britton was amazing. And there was a songwriting duo who, I really liked. But I mean, they all did their own stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So she tried to be a singer, which then, of course, got her Nashville. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, LOL, ha ha ha. But like, they then casted her to be a singer on a TV show. So, like, up until like very recently, like, she's laughing all the way to the bank, even though Heroes like tanked and was terrible.
Heroes, I mean, it tanked, but it was very popular.
Yeah.
When it was popular.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we going to get into her advocacy work? Because I need to talk a little bit.
Oh,
sure.
I don't even know anything about this. So, yeah.
Oh, my word. Oh,
she's real into it. Yeah.
And was at the time, too. Like, she wrote a letter of protest to the Norwegian ambassador to say that Norway should stop whale hunting. And this was like while Heroes was on. This was like in the aughts. And there's other stuff she's done where she addressed other nations in the world to have them stop their practices of killing animals. Go ahead.
She's real into the whale stuff. There's a video of her like, and it wasn't just like she put her money where her mouth is. She went there. There's videos of her like fighting with protesters.
Yeah.
Or fighting with the fishermen. And I mean, she's also like on the board, I think, of the Ronald McDonald House, or she was really into that charity as well. Like she's done a lot of good things, which I didn't know that side to her until I prepped for this chat.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this. That's like really.
I think that she also wrote a letter to studio.
Fucking go. To who?
It's been too long. I can't even do this anymore because Chris is onto it. I want to say she wrote a letter to Hollywood saying that Brendan Fraser should give his Oscar back because they called him the whale. Dear Hollywood, how dare you?
Oh my God.
Let us speak momentarily about Hayden Panettiere. And I'm actually surprised and glad that we have spent this much time talking about her career because like many people who we fix on the show, I don't realize how storied they are until I come on. Like this person has worked pretty solidly for a number of decades, harder than I ever have. So kudos to that. And she's very talented, obviously. In recent years, she was a gossip mainstay for quite some time after she got married, because she married this man. His name is Vladimir Klitschko, who her standing next to him, I don't know how big he is, but I do know that Hayden Panettiere is 5 feet tall. This man that she was married to looked like Andre the Giant next to her. Literally, like it looked like a mismatch just visually. It looked like the shortest woman and the tallest guy in the Guinness Book had like formed a union. It's visually arresting because she appears to be a child when standing next to him, and that's it's a thing. I know exactly what you're saying. It does make you uneasy. Love is love. They were both adults. She was not a child, just for the record. I know we're not fact-based, but that is a fact. We're not accusing anyone of being a pedophile.
Isn't his brother like the mayor of Kiev?
I don't know. That would be fascinating. That would be amazing.
And they like dropped everything and they were participating in the war and everything. It was really quite amazing.
God, she's been through a lot.
They were on and off, and then they got engaged and they have a child together. She has at least a 10 or 11-year-old child with Vladimir, and they broke up though. Before the pandemic, they broke up, and she started dating someone else named Brian Hickerson, who I'm not familiar with.
And I don't want to be familiar with this guy from what
go ahead and tell us why. Yeah.
Well, there's just been a ton of stuff about, trigger warning, domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and a lot and he's been arrested. There's been PFAs. Like, it's been a whole thing back and forth with them. And I believe she lost custody of her daughter. I think her daughter lives in Ukraine.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
We might pause to look that up for a second. But yeah, Brian Hickerson, that boyfriend, was arrested for corporal injury on a spouse or cohabitant. I remember this. And intimidating a witness as well. The witness being her. And there were multiple incidents before and during the pandemic when all this happened.
That's really sad.
Yes. Yeah. She was in a DV relationship with somebody.
And like, it's so annoying. It's really fucking gross. It's like, she's like a talent. Like, she literally is like working.
And who is this guy?
And like some fucking deadbeat loser piece of shit was like, I have to come and like fuck your shit up now.
She gave an interview. I want to say, well, there's the infamous People magazine interview.
Yeah,
but she gave another interview.
We'll get there.
Right. Where she talked about sharing custody with him. And like, they seem to have a good co-parenting relationship.
Sure.
And she often visits the daughter visits her, but I'm not sure if it's still in that status, but I'm pretty sure it is.
And then I wasn't sure of Brian Hickerson, because I don't know what this guy looks like, but I do remember is 3 years ago now, the video of her and a boyfriend, which I'm just looking online. It turns out it was Brian Hickerson, but they got into a physical fight with a group of patrons outside the Sunset Marquee in Los Angeles. And I remember the video. It's pretty grainy video, but it's just a bunch of people screaming. And I don't know what started. Apparently Hayden tried to diffuse the situation. This wasn't part of the domestic violence that she endured, but she can be heard in the video saying, Brian, jail, meaning like,
you will go to jail.
If you take this further, which probably meant he was on parole or had gotten a warning or whatever. So, but it does seem like that relationship is over, by the way. BT dubs.
Good.
I hate that. I hate that.
I know.
I have a few more things to blow your hair back of things that she was in that I did not realize.
Do it. Okay. Do it.
One of which is, are you guys aware that she was in 12 episodes of Ally McBeal?
No.
That's big.
And I watched every episode of Ally McBeal.
Was probably a child. I mean, she had to have been like someone's child.
She had to have been 5 years old. I mean, that show was on like in the mid-90s.
2002, it says.
2002.
Yeah. She was probably a teenager.
No, she would have been like 12. She would have been like 13 years old. If it was 2000, if the year was 2002.
What am I going through right
she was
now?
13
I thought Ally McBeal
old.
was the late 90s.
But it might have ended in 2002.
It started in 1997. You are correct, Dominic.
Like technically Friends ended in like 2004, which to me doesn't make any sense. But like it is true. Another thing neither of you will even know what this is, but for every millennial that played video games, in the game Kingdom Hearts, which was a Disney and Final Fantasy collaboration, which was a humongous, like one of the most successful collaboration games ever invented. Mm-hmm. She is the voice of the main female character who you, as Sora, her name was Kairi, and she's like the love interest of the main character who you're searching for the whole game. Okay. And there's all these like dream sequences where she's like, come find me. Like, you have to come save me. Like the Princess Peach of the game, basically, where he's going after her, which for the millennials, that game was like another level of like beyond.
Okay.
And let's not forget, she's the coach's daughter in Remember the Titans, which at the time was like the biggest movie ever.
Sure.
Which is where I think most millennials will immediately recognize her.
Yes. Before Heroes, I mean, that's big.
That's a big one. Yeah. And she was like the tomboy, and she was always rooting on the team. I remember she was really good. Yeah,
no. Now, once I read it, I was like, I can picture her like at the kitchen counter in the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, it's her. You're right. Like,
she was adorable.
Yes.
Now she's been kind of quiet recently. I would imagine for a sad reason.
Yeah.
Her brother passed away in the beginning of 2023. He had heart problems and passed away, and she has given several interviews where she talks about how that absolutely altered her life. She doesn't have many projects on the books after her brother. His name was Jansen, and he was very young. He was 28 years old. But it was sort of like a cataclysmic moment in her life. So we're quote unquote fixing her at a time when it seems as though she is trying to, I don't want to say come back, because she went away, for well-documented personal reasons.
Can I say something real quick?
What her next step will be? Of course.
So she actually did a lot for the postpartum movement, because she had postpartum
and was very public about it.
Very public about it, talked about it a lot. And so that was really, I remember that being around the time, like when my kids were young and listening to that. And so she really was another advocate in that way. I mean, she's done a lot of advocacy work.
Yeah. Like, I think of her as like probably like mean, you know what I mean? Like, but like, I just like, she just like seemingly would be mean. Like, she's the cheerleader. She's like in Bringing On 3 All or Nothing, she's like mean, you know what I mean? She's a mean white girl stealing these black girls' cheers, and and which is just simply what it is. But she's not that person in real life, and that I usually don't feel that way about an actor, but I feel like, oh, she's probably really mean, like she's probably like a diva or like difficult, and I have no reason to believe that other than just characters that she played of me thinking that's who she is. And it seemingly is like she's a very amazing, like a bleeding heart, like nice person.
She's the opposite. Do you know why you felt that way?
Because I'm a horrible person.
Because you're a piece of trash.
I'm a misogynistic trash pig. That's why. Then we get why she gets on the list. She does an interview for People magazine, a video interview.
Yeah.
And she looks out of sorts.
It's not good.
A little bit of slurring of the words, just a little, and again, like we've all been there. It's not even that it was like that bad, but it was a little like, I remember seeing it and going, oh, they shouldn't have posted this. Like, she looks bad. Like, this doesn't look good.
She's being, and I've seen this many times. I've done it myself, where she's very focused on what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, she's struggling to say things.
Yes.
And making sure she's saying them.
And a lot of people were like, is she okay? And not in like a mean way, but everyone was like, oh, we're concerned. Like, is she okay? Like, this doesn't look good. Like, like, do we need to check in on her? Like, are we good? Like, is she good? And like an outpouring of concern. And she then like a couple days later was like, I'm okay. Like, it was a really long day. I was shooting a bunch of stuff all day and I was really tired and I shouldn't have really done that interview, but I did it. And blah, blah, blah. And even people was like, we probably shouldn't have posted that. Like, everyone involved was like, oops, like that wasn't good. But she came out and was like, guys, I'm fine. I was really tired. Like, which I'm like, sure. But like, okay, at least you're good. This would be a time when she could be like, I've been struggling with something. And then seemingly she would tell us.
Well, when was this? Do you know?
Like last year.
September 2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think she went to rehab after that interview.
No.
I think she went to rehab in October of 2024 to family members.
Oh, no, you're right. Hayden Panettiere, Yahoo News right here. Hayden Panettiere forced back to rehab.
Yeah. The thing about her that is so interesting, in my opinion, is everything that has been a mess about her and everything that's been quote unquote not good has been done to her. Like she really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
She tells a story about, somebody, an adult in her circle when she was a 16-year-old actress. Somebody gave her pills, said they were happy pills. They were, I think it was Xanax. I can't remember what she told me. And so like things, she's in a DV situation. She had postpartum. Like these are all things that really aren't her fault. So like she hasn't really, and I think that's why people still kind of look at her like, oh, baby girl, like we hope you get better. You know what I mean? Because
I mean, I did before today.
She's not a terrible person.
Not even a little bit, actually.
Right.
Like she's on your side. World.
Yes.
She's on your side.
She's also, I wonder if they just said she like quote unquote went, this is horrible, but like went to rehab because it makes her look good. Like she's getting help.
Maybe.
Like just did it for
just
PR reasons.
The article just seems like it's just kind of nothing. That's not. And here's the other thing is like, it's not like she's like, yes, that like guy was like fighting someone in the street, but that's like, again, not her. She's just there.
Yeah.
She's not like driving her car off the road and like everyone's like, oh, they're like, this one's drunk again. Like this,
she's guilty of having a bad picker. I mean,
like, but she's not like pulling a like Karen Huger, you know what I mean? Or like,
no.
She's not like getting a DUI every 2 seconds or being
she's not mad at People Magazine because she did a more recent interview with People where she sort of like showed her after photos for the past couple of years that she's been suffering. Like she obviously in the beginning of 2023 lost her brother. And then in November of last year, she returned to People to say, like obviously Jensen passing away was the worst thing in my life. I immediately gained a lot of weight. I had a couple of problems. And then after that, she hired a trainer and I guess life got better after the trainer. I don't know if that's the moral of any story, but she, oh
no, it's
she's back in fighting weight and that she's just feeling better about things. So she's primed and ready to rejoin.
Good.
Yeah, it said Hayden has been open about her struggles with opioid and alcohol addiction over the years, as she previously discussed her troubles with People in July of 2022.
This article came out. That was the messy one.
This is before. Mm-hmm. I was on top of the world and I ruined it. I think I'd hit rock bottom, but then there's that trap door that opened. She recalled about her addiction, adding that becoming sober hadn't been easy and there were lots of ups and downs.
So her brother passed away after that, by the way. Her brother passed away in Feb of 23.
Which
so
then
all
I'm
of
sure
that messiness. Woo-wee.
Yeah.
Well, and then she did the episode, or she did the interview where she supposedly slurs, I thought in September of 2024. No?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Is like, she's like, I'm struggling. Someone very close to her dies. And then what do you think? You know what I mean? What do you think?
Of course.
Then it's really even harder on her. And then she does the interview that's bad.
Yeah. And she's somebody who is going to voice and share her voice with people and give voice to her struggles and not hide. I admire that.
Yeah, no, me too. And again, like we're not seeing her like getting a DUI or like getting like we saw her like slur her words in a interview that like seemingly it like for 1 second. It's not even like she was like, and then I was, she wasn't like a bumbling idiot. She was like, just looked a little bit out of it.
And the fact that the people didn't have their like pitchforks out for her tells you everything you need to know about her. Like she's pretty beloved.
No, I know. Oh God, this is hard. This is actually a really hard.
It's gonna be a hard one.
Yeah.
I'm about to put my toe on the red carpet. Ooh. I'm there.
I think I am too.
Okay.
At the arena.
I would like Hayden, our girl. I don't want her to act anymore. She's done enough. She's done enough. Like she's done it. Okay. And I don't think that's good for her. I think that her being on camera, I think triggers her. And I don't like that for her. I want her to become an activist because she is. And I want her to be the person that like, remember how, get ready.
Here we go.
Remember how like Sam Lufty, death, by the way, was that person that would like swoop in when like one of the like Britney, Paris, whoever else would swoop in and kind of like become the manager of someone who was like on the rocks and was like running off the road. And then he would like fuck their life up. I want her to be that, but for good. When someone is like going off the road and is like, someone's like really doing bad, I want her to swoop in and be like, I'm going to come be your manager right now and just be there with you and help you. And I'm going to be there and talk with you. And we're going to keep each other accountable. And I'm going to, and you're going to be my friend and I'm going to be sponsor to the stars. Sponsor to the stars is honestly what I want her to be.
Okay.
I weirdly feel like her helping others would help her. And I want like, when we see, think of like, trying to think of like who else is like this, but like, think about when someone's in jeopardy, like publicly, like for their persona, and Taylor Swift like befriends them and is like, I'm going to be your friend now and like bully whoever is mean to you. That's what I want her to be, but for people that are struggling with addiction or like in a bad place, in a bad brain. Like I want her to be like, I did this, and so I'm going to come. We see them hand in hand with Hayden Panettiere going to dinner.
You want her to be the Corey Feldman to the Corey Haim of the world.
Sure. That is a loaded... Because where Corey Feldman is now Corey Feldman is now is not where I would like her to end up, but like, sure.
Okay.
I want to see paparazzi pictures of her with ex-celebrity that like just got a DUI, and she's bringing him to dinner and is like sitting him down and being like, listen, you're better than this.
If they are better than that.
Like, that's what I want her to do. It's a weird pitch, but weirdly, I feel like we'd all be like,
does she have to run the list by you to make sure that she doesn't have a bad pick on there? No, she doesn't make great choices.
No. She just is gonna do. She's gonna go with God.
You're out of it. Okay.
Okay. She's gonna go with God. But that's my pitch for her. I know it's strange, but I weirdly feel like if we saw her in pictures with like some celebrity that's like on the rocks, she could make that her brand, and I like that.
Okay. All right.
And that's my pitch.
I have thoughts about that, but I'll save them.
Okay.
Okay.
Dominick?
My pitch for Hayden Leslie Panettiere is as follows. I think that she needs to headline, without Connie Britton, a sequel series to Nashville.
Damn you. God damn you.
Where, in the All About Eve situation, she, at the age of 35, would be the older one. But what I think she should do as an executive producer of this reboot is to
Does she have any money left? I'm just throwing that out there. Does she have any money left?
I don't know.
Okay. She does. I don't know. I think she doesn't. Okay. I think she doesn't need to work.
Okay.
I think Nashville paid her up.
Okay. All right. So she's taking her money. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, she should be an EP on the show, and she should also star in it. And it should include some shades of what she has gone through during the dark period in her life. And her character should be someone who dropped out of the spotlight at her peak because of personal issues, a la what she has been through. And then there's a Sabrina Carpenter-esque sort of person who plays the young, instead of Connie and Hayden, it's Hayden and Sabrina or Hayden and whoever. And I think given the current wave of nostalgia for all things from that era, I think that the show would be a hit. And I think that she's not like the comeback story of all time, but this is a comeback story. Like there's glory here for her to reclaim because she definitely got knocked off track. And that's
Can I ask some follow-up questions?
You mean if she switches industry from country music to porn and we'd call it Assville? Yes, you can do that.
She has to stay country. But is it a streamer and are there whales involved?
We're going to call it Whaleville? No.
Like in season 2, does she go to save some whales and
her and Greta are like on a sailboat somewhere and she's shooting down whaling ships. Like she's like throwing like the balls with on the little thing that they would like trip up someone. She whale
I'm
horse.
putting the kibosh. No whale mentions on the show. Not even with a Brendan Fraser cameo. I wouldn't even allow it. No whales are mentioned of whale. Just it's her personal life, not her activist life, and that's my pitch. Nashville 2 electric.
This is honestly difficult. I wish I could combine the two. Dom, you would have had me with whales. I mean, I'm obsessed with whales, so I would have been there.
I can't. I have my...
Okay, is this on a streamer? Like, who's running this? It's not a Taylor Sheridan project or anything, right?
No, I mean, it could even be some of the same people that made Nashville a hit with just some new blood. But sure, Peacock and NBC for sure.
Oh, Peacock and NBC. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Was Nashville on NBC?
I think it was on ABC.
ABC.
Well, then
tomato,
Hulu and ABC?
Disney Plus. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, there we go. Disney Plus.
But it's not Netflix. It's not Max.
No, it's got to be the same spirit as before. But now baby girl has come to run the show. Like that's that sort of energy.
And her love interest could be one of the Avett brothers, maybe? Give them a role?
Who?
Okay. All right. Let me think.
I don't know who those brothers are. Were they on Nashville?
No, they're just amazing country-ists.
Who are?
Singers.
Oh, then
the
I
Avett brothers.
No.
The problem I have with Chris's idea, I really like it because I don't think she should be acting again.
I don't think that's good for her.
But as a woman who has spent my life rescuing men, it's hard for me to go tell a woman to go save other people.
Sure.
So it has to be, we need to temper that a little bit. Like she's only allowed to save other struggling women, or maybe she's only allowed to save.
I'm not seeing like a deadbeat man that's gross. I'm seeing like, remember when Taylor Swift and Sophie Turner went to Via Carota? Like that's what I'm seeing in my mind.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with Chris on this one, Dom. I'm sorry. I love the idea, but I don't want to see everybody at ABC lose money because I don't know what's going to happen here. She might have a whale call and want to run off and save some dolphins, and she can't be around. Yeah. I mean, I got to keep the billionaires billionairing. You know what I mean? We can't lose any money.
What she actually should do is like have a show where she like goes and is like, here's like the decimation of the whales. Like that would be cool.
Geo.
Yeah. Or even on like Netflix where it's like, remember like The Americas they just put out on like Hulu or whatever.
It would be fantastic.
She could have something like a David Attenborough-esque thing of like, here's the whales, and like she could narrate a whale documentary.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. And maybe she could sing while she does it. And there's your two answers combined.
She could sing whale calls.
Like Dory from Finding Dory. Yes, absolutely. Christopher, congratulations.
Thank you. I desperately needed this win.
You too. You're a little bit behind this year. You are catching up, though.
Yes.
But congratulations. And Hayden Panettiere, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good one.
Amy.
Chris.
Tell everyone where they can find Little Miss Recap and where they can find you.
Little Miss Recap is on any podcast player. I'm on Instagram, and that's about it.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Dominick, where can people find you?
The website's Dominterry.com. My Instagram is Dominick Pupa. My TikTok is Dominterry. And while you're at TikTok, check out Fixing Famous People's new TikTok page, which is found at Fixing Famous People Pod on TikTok. It is almost the identical material that you will see on Instagram, but could you just like us there anyway?
Thank you.
Please. And also, while we're here, please don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, because
we're more than halfway to our goal, by the way.
We're
so
more than halfway
working.
to our goal.
What's your goal?
We're not
telling anyone the goal.
Okay.
But we need people to subscribe, please. And then we can and then you'll get the mukbang that you've been waiting for from Dominick and I.
Okay.
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People. You can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Fixing Famous People and YouTube at Fixing Famous People. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.